All right, let me just switch things over. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Boot Heel Youth Museum. My name is Richard, and I'll be your tour guide. Today, we're exploring three of our most popular collections: Everyday Living in our replica Small Town USA, our science exhibit with its space station, and History in Nature, where we'll join Lewis and Clark on their famous expedition. Let's head inside now so we can begin our tour. I like to start with a couple of quotes. Mitch Albom once said, "Small towns have their own heartbeat, no matter how many people come or go." And Carlos Wallace said, "There are things you experience growing up in small towns that create memories that last a lifetime." Well, our first set of exhibits cover life in a small town. On the left, you see our fire truck, parked outside the firehouse where kids learn about public safety. Or they can be doctors at the hospital down the street. If those don't interest them, there are many more exhibits for them to explore. They can visit the local pizza shop with its brick oven, shop at the local grocery, or just play in the life-size dollhouse on your right. These exhibits are lots of fun for kids, and they allow them to learn about the world they live in through role play. But when the kids have had enough of small town life, it's time to reach for the stars. Our second stop is the science exhibit, where we make learning fun. Buzz Aldrin once said, "Your mind is like a parachute. If it's not open, it doesn't work." Buzz would feel right at home in our first exhibit, a realistic space station donated by NASA and Boeing. The space station you see on the left has everything you could want for a trip to space. Every nook and cranny is filled with experiments to conduct. Kids can learn how light travels in space or how astronauts sleep in zero gravity. Next, we can check out the Whisper Dish, where acoustics allow you to throw your voice to a matching dish all the way across the room, or climb inside a giant soap bubble in the bubble room. One stop that's always a hit with the kids is the Shadow Room, here on the right. Stand inside this pitch black room, and a flash of light burns your shadow onto the wall, thanks to the magic, or should I say the science, of phosphorescence. As you can see, we've got many opportunities for kids to learn about science in fun ways. Kids have lots of questions, and like Einstein said, the important thing is to never stop questioning. Now it's time to move on to our last set of exhibits. Our final stop today is the Missouri History and Nature exhibit. The cabin on the left was home to Sacagawea and her husband, Toussaint Charbonneau. An informational plaque on the wall here, titled Mandan Lodge, tells their story, which I'll summarize. Lewis and Clark hired them because Sacagawea spoke the local languages Shoshone and Hidatsa, and Toussaint spoke Hidatsa and French. So a soldier would translate Lewis and Clark's English to French, and Toussaint would translate that to Hidatsa for Sacagawea. Then she would speak Shoshone to all the people they encountered. So you can imagine how complicated those conversations were. The Lewis and Clark expedition discovered about 300 plant and animal species, and we have many of these on display here, including this fine fellow here on the right, a bobcat. The rest of this section focuses on conservation and what we can do to help preserve the beauty of nature. Aldo Leopold, the father of American conservation, said, "We abuse the land because we see it as something that belongs to us. But when we see it as a community to which we belong, we may begin to use it with love and respect." I hope you've learned something about Missouri's history and its bright future. Now, let's step outside and conclude our tour. We visited some fun exhibits, and we've learned quite a bit about everyday life in Missouri, science and the universe, and history and nature. There's so much more to do and see, though, that we just didn't have time for today. So we hope you'll come back soon, visit us, and see lots more. Thank you for coming by, and have a wonderful day. All right. Switching off. Thanks, guys.